European leaders are banding together to stop a tyrant who threatens European security. No, this is not a documentary for World War II. This is what Donald Trump has created as the European Union has joined together to commit to an $850 billion defense package in direct response to Donald Trump cozying up with their arch enemy, the imperial dictator, brutal dictator in Putin, and the way that Donald Trump has treated Zelensky in the Oval Office. The response, Donald Trump has galvanized world leaders against the United States and who are now stepping up to protect Europe. Defense, 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 spend, spend, spend for deterrence. That's the new rallying cry for the European Union following secret emergency meetings after Donald Trump's conduct created this urgent need for the Europeans to go it alone. I'm Michael Popok. We're not going it alone. We're doing it together right here on the Legal AF YouTube channel. Let's talk about how Donald Trump in just 46 days has reshaped the world order and not to the American advantage. Some people may try to argue that the $850 billion that the Europeans are now committing to spend on defense and deterrence is $850 billion less than the U.S. would have had to spend. That's not true. It would not have increased a $1, 1 shekel, the amount of money that the Americans were going to put into world defense. You now have this unlikely scenario. France and Macron, who's becoming a stronger and stronger leader by the moment, has offered to put all of Europe under the nuclear umbrella protection of France to replace the American protection. We are now a smaller country. We are now a less powerful country, a less influential country with Donald Trump in the Oval Office. There's no two ways about it. I'm not saying that the Europeans shouldn't have always contributed their fair share of their GDP to NATO and to other alliances, military alliances that we've established, but they were already in the process of doing that. What scared the crap out of them and what has led to this extraordinary, historic commitment of additional funds is they are unifying against a tyrant. And I'm talking about Trump. We normally, as what had been considered and now past tense, the remaining superpower, the leader of the free world. We can't call ourselves the leader of the free world any longer. Donald Trump has shrunk our power and influence down to we're barely the leader of the continental 48 states. I mean, I'll add Alaska and Hawaii to it if you like, but that's it. If you would have told me in 2025 that our influence around the globe would be shrinking economically and militarily, geopolitically, I'd say you're insane. We were on the ascent. Make America great again. Make America small again. Shrink down America. Is this the decline of the American empire under Donald Trump? Did we finally hit? We all learned about in history class, in world history class, we all learned about, that sort of failed son of an emperor who took over during an era and drove that empire into the ground. That's what we're watching, the sunsetting of the American empire under Donald Trump. It's as if he was hired in order to put America as we know it out of business. The Europeans also did something else extraordinary. And when I'm talking about German military investment, it always makes me slightly uncomfortable, but there's no two ways about it. Germany and its parliament have decided to take the quote-unquote break off its budget and allow for an increase, a substantial increase in military spending. It's all a direct result of Donald Trump. And again, it doesn't save Americans money like, good, the Europeans are protecting themselves. That sounds like a good thing. Yeah, no. The fact that they are joining together economically, militarily, that we're becoming an afterthought means that we can't shape geopolitical results that are important to American security. And not just territorial or military security. I'm talking about geopolitical, geo-economic security. When Donald Trump is pulling in the oars of the American boat economically, denying free markets to our manufacturers And our service providers, they have no more outlet because market after market after market is shutting their door in retaliatory or responsive, that's a better word, responsive tariffs. America can't consume all that it produces. So where does it go? Nowhere. Profits down. Paychecks eliminated. Consumers eliminated. These are all the driving engines of the economy. It's gotten so bad that the Commerce Secretary under Donald Trump is considering fudging the books, cooking the books, and removing government spending as a measure of gross domestic product. It's as if they don't recognize what makes the economy in the United States hum, or they are removing, as I've joked, or only half joked, they're removing the U.S. from the U.S. economy. And they're going to make the number, they're going to cook the books so that we don't notice, and they don't have the government to blame. See, if they take U.S. government spending out of the metric, then you just say, oh, look, it's not us. It's not that we're not spending enough. It's not that we're not investing enough in America. It's that America's not spending enough money. See, it's the fact that you've cut off your foreign markets at the same time that you fired hundreds of thousands of employees, meaning voters and paychecks. At the same time, you've entered into a supply chain war with China at the same time that the European Union has decided to invest $850 billion into their defense. And I'll tell you where they're not going to be spending that $850 billion. So we're not going to be getting the economic benefit from it. They're not going to be using it for U.S. military contractors or U.S. military technology. So that money's not even going to come to Elon Musk or any of the major defense contractors. It's going to stay in Europe because Europe has its own defense contractors. France builds its own planes. Yes, there's certain countries that still wants our fighter jets. And yes, we still produce. And countries usually clamor for our supply chain in technology for military, but not this time. It's all going to stay abroad. They're going to unify together. I wouldn't be surprised. Here's one of my predictions. You could write it down, put it in the time capsule. I think the UK eventually votes to return to Europe. That Brexit, how's that working for them? I think it's better for them to come back to the European Union, be part of a strong Europe, maybe under France's nuclear wings, and do it that way. I'm going to continue to follow the worldwide catastrophe that Donald Trump has created, or what did he say during his speech? I mean, I didn't watch it. I saw excerpts of it to Congress. It's going to be a little wonky. It's going to be a little bit painful for the American in the beginning, but eventually what? Eventually, this presidency is going to be over. It will be at the midterm elections. We'll follow it all right here on Legal AF. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.